Hello, hello. Here we are again coming to you from the Paranormal World Show under Broadcast Team Alpha on 44 different platforms around the world. And one of them is the Conscious Awakening Network. You got to go over there and have a look at that because they got about 50 different shows over there that covers all the good stuff that you need to know about. And my name is Aage, and I'm the host here. And let me also tell you how you can get in touch with me. And you can go to broadcastteamalpha.com and send us a message from there. I'll get the email and I'll get back to you and see what we can do for you. So that's that story. And now, if you like what you hear today during this show, please subscribe. That'll help us a lot. And I'm going to talk about something that has been kind of confusing for many for a long, long time. And I want to make this video as short as I can because people like short videos. You know, the attention span of a lot of people is about that long, in some cases that long. And nah, we don't want to talk about that. But there is a lot of misconception around this subject of free will. Well, do we have free will? And how is that free will in our situation that we are living here called our life? Some of the thought leaders out there are telling us that we come here with a life contract. Okay, I know about contracts. I've written many contracts over the years. A contract is an agreement to fulfill something that was agreed on before. And one of the things that is an integral part of a contract is full disclosure of all aspects involved in the contract. So we're supposed to have this life contract. Let's say we go out and do something really stupid that we, in our right mind, would never do because we didn't know. We didn't remember that we may have agreed to do that. If we don't remember, is that a violation of the contract? I'm throwing some things on the table here that I want you to think about because it's going to get very deep. So if we have free will on the basis of a contract, how does that fit in with the life that we think we are living? We hear that we are responsible for everything that happens in our life. Okay. Boy, oh boy, I've done some really stupid things in my life. Was I really responsible for that? I know one guy here in Tucson. He was he's a spiritual man, actually more religious than spiritual. And he was also a patriot. So I was read in the federal statutes that if you're traveling on the road in your own conveyance for personal reasons, there is no requirement to have a driver's license. Yes, it's in there, in the federal statutes. So he got stopped for speeding, and the cop wrote out a ticket, and he refused to sign the ticket. The cop got real constipated about that, so he arrested the guy and took him to jail overnight so he could get to see the judge the next morning. Did he actually agree to do that? Who in their right mind would do something that put them in jail? Now it gets complicated because then we have also people like they have illnesses. Let's say they get cancer. Most of them are watching TV, so they don't really know much, but cancer is simple to cure. If you just research Royal Reich and Dr. Otto Warburg, you'll find that they cured pretty much everybody that came to them with that particular disease. But the people that get that cancer, did they really agree to do that? That's a horrible situation. Did they choose that? Hmm. See, we choose what we do because of thoughts. That could be a lingering thought over many, many years that turns into bad habits of eating and, things like that. Or it could be a spontaneous one. So, who created that thought that you went and executed and got in trouble for? Was it you? Remember, we are multi-dimensional beings. So then, what if? What if at a higher level of consciousness, the real you, the higher self, your spiritual essence, your consciousness, take whatever word you want, what at that level, there is no such thing as good or bad decisions. They only turn into experiences. The higher conscious you may have agreed to have the experience of cancer or jail. So it turned into a contract to do that one particular thing within a long span of a lifetime. You see, we hear that we live in a mind-created universe. Okay, what is that? If we are multi-dimensional beings, that means we are physical, we are mental, we are spiritual, and we operate on many different levels of existence. So, which one of those levels of existence created that thought and gave it to you to go and do something you got in trouble for? It still possibly could be part of the contract without you even knowing it. So if we live in a mind-created universe, which quantum mechanics tell us we do, and then that turns into a holographic existence. And we have proven that in quantum mechanics by repeatable scientific experiments, we find we are in a mind-created universe. Our mind, not our brain, but our mind. The brain is only the one that executes the thought into action where you put your hands to work and do something. So we have levels of hierarchy within that. We have the neural network and the brain, which gets its message from two sources. One of them, memory globules placed along the neural networks, and also from outside non-local conscious thought or existence, messages. That is the consciousness. That above that you have the super consciousness that gives the message to your consciousness. Above the super conscious, then we have the soul essence, and you go several places up there, which I kind of lose myself when I start thinking all the way up there. So there is this guy, he's called as James Gates. He says that if we look deep in the equations that explaining the fabric of space, we find computer language. We did not place it there. It just shows up. So if there is a computer language embedded in the fabric of space, there's got to be a computer somewhere. Who's sitting at that computer? You are. Now that one is hard to wrap our head around, but if we live in a mind-created universe, that is our mind here, and then we have the consciousness above there that gives this mind a message to go do something. So it gets very convoluted when you got looking up there. But that means all information, all the information that we get comes from a source, either in the neural network or outside of the physical body. It comes from somewhere else. And again, what if you, by your higher consciousness or the higher self or whatever you would call it, the higher self sent a message to your mind that goes to the brain, that brings it up to conscious understanding, so you go and do something. The higher self remembers the contract and is executing thoughts on the basis of the contract for you to go do something. Think about that. It may be that you agreed to do something before you were born, and you choose on the basis of several things that may be presented to you to put all together into one memory. I call it, one memory globule that is your life situation. Now, the reason I'm saying that is because I remember. I have gone back and I remember when I made the choice for this life situation. I was not the only one that chose. I had other people choosing with me because I was given, I believe it was 3 different life situations. They had different aspects inside of it. And I was standing there at a table. There were 3 or 4 other high, kind of tall, slender being of light on the other side of that round table. They presented 3, I believe it was 3, life situations, and they showed me what was in each one of those. And obviously I chose this one because here I am. So then they had put suggestions into the different life situations, the suggestions for things that would advance my spiritual knowledge the fastest and the best. And not all of the things I agreed to would be presumed to be good in a physical way of looking at it only. But from doing that, good things will come from it, and it definitely did. Some of the stuff I have gone through, good things came from it. So it had a purpose, one that was not very easy to understand in the moment when you were going through it. So it appears as we have free will outside of the physical, but when we are in the physical, we are only executing the actions of what we agreed to outside of the physical. So, in a roundabout way, we have free will. So, we are spiritual beings. Much of the decision of what's going on here is made at a higher level of our spiritual being. And I also have a spiritual being that I visit with ever so often. Actually, he comes and visits me. And I remember asking him, what about free will? Do we have full free will here? And he said, most of it is planned. The understanding that came with it was that it was planned by us on the basis of what was suggested to us for our best and fastest spiritual growth. That we accept whatever is in that life situation, we accept. And then we incarnate and we go through this holographic movie that we think is our life. And when it's over, we drop the body and we go back and we have a life review. We review what we did. Did we get to do everything that we came here to do? From what I understand is that some of it we fail at. We start on it, but we don't complete. I think I have I know I have a couple of things like that. So that makes us, or at the time when we come back and we have the life review, we go through everything, all the memories of what we did. When we did something good for someone, then we have the joy of doing it because we also get to feel the sensation in the other person that we did good for. Feel the joy they had. When we did something to someone that is not so good, maybe we hurt them really bad, we also have to feel the agony that they had so we can learn what that experience was like. And that is more like the plan. I remember another time I asked my friend, that spiritual entity that comes and visit, I asked him, are there accidents on the other side also that misplaces or derails the program that we are on? And it was a very short answer. And that was yes. And I wrote about one of those incidents in my book about spiritual science, higher conscious thinking, and how to access the universal consciousness. The universe is very well explained in there, what goes on, how it works, and how we can benefit from knowing how it works. It teaches you how to use your mind in ways you normally would think would be impossible. But there are accidents. So if there are accidents there, that could turn into accidents here, because here is where it's played out. So that could also mean that when we go back, we have to come back and do something over again because it wasn't completed. And we still want the experience. With other words, to summarize, yes, we have full, I say really full free will at the spiritual level of us. And whatever we agreed to in that life contract is transferred down to us, and we go and execute it on the basis of that free will. So indirectly, we have free will of everything in the physical existence on the basis of what was agreed to at a higher spiritual level. Now, that doesn't mean that everything we do here is agreed to. If you drop your spoon on the floor having breakfast one day, I doubt that is agreed to in the life contract. Those are ancillary things that just is fed in to supplement everything else going on. I don't think that was pre-planned. So, in those ways, we do have some free will. We could leave the spoon laying there, or we could pick it up. So, simple things. We do have some latitude of free will. But the major things, who your parents were, where you go to school, who you marry, your work, accidents, things like that, and other major things, illnesses and so on, it appears that all of those things are pre-planned for you to have the experience to learn and grow from. Yeah, it did get a little deep, but I I would think, if nothing else, it makes you think. And a good suggestion, if you want to find out what happened in the past, what is buried in your mind, go have a hypnosis session with a good hypnotist. They can take you back in time, all the way back through your life to the point where you were born. And you can pick a time and you could review in your mind what happened at that time. They can also take you back before you were born, and you can review the life contract, or way back into previous life existences. I've been a hypnotist for well over 50 years, and I know these things are possible because I've done some incredible things, but I'm suggesting check with Nori Love. She's a hypnotherapist. She can help you if you're really interested in finding out where do you come from and why are you here? Boy, are those two good questions. So think about it. And if you like what you heard, please subscribe. That'll help us a lot. And then, until next time, be good to each other.